Florida, the oil becomes a little more easily movable. It moves on the lane a little more readily. So that's possibly part of the reason. I'm not trying to make an excuse, but it's part of the reason that Larry-Laub may have trouble lining up right now.
Well, there's one. Laub's perfectly capable of coming back, but he's down by 32 pins halfway through this match. Helling working on 4 in a row.
Talking to himself a little bit, trying to get himself back into this. Keep your head in there and think. Taking lots of time. Very important for Don Helling. It's trouble.
Oh, it's perfect.
Wow. Look at him. He's running it out pretty good for an old man there, huh? We're going to take another look at that shot. When he released this one, he went a little more directly at the pins, and I thought, uh-oh. And you can see his reaction. He was real happy with it. I thought it was going to go high in the head pin.
That's that reactive ball. Hits that oil and it straightens out. And finishes on the drive. 5 in a row, up by 42. Lots of strikes tonight, Earl. So far, going into this match, all the players are averaging 245.
Well, that's tremendous. Way out.
Oh, and the dinner bucket.
Well,
wow.
The 2 dreaded spares for Don Helling would be the 7-pin, which he's really had trouble converting because the lanes are hooking so much on the back, and the bucket. The 3, 5, 6, 9. And the idea here is to get it between the 3 and the 5. So many ways to chop it and leave that.
And we saw
5-pin, or maybe
we saw
the 9.
Davis chop it on this lane.
That's right.
Twelve regional titles for Don at the spare.
Ooh, things are going Mr. Helling's way today, I'll tell you what, because he thought he missed it.
Well, if Larry-Laub is going to make a run at this senior title, he's got to strike these next couple of frames. And this is his tougher of the 2 lanes.
Here's another look at that spare. You can see he used all the lane. Don, as I mentioned earlier, likes to hook the ball into his spares. Larry-Laub to stay in the match.
No way.
Well, he just didn't get it off his hand. He's had a lot of problem getting the ball off his thumb. There's 3 or 4 occasions that I can bring to mind, Mike, where the ball just hasn't gotten off his thumb cleanly. And part of that is, again, going back to a change of style, a very unnatural way of bowling for Larry-Laub. He's not normally this type of player. He doesn't like to throw the ball well out in lane and turn it like this. He likes to lay it down and roll it. But the lane surface necessitates that kind of release, and so he's adapted to it and done quite well to this point, but this may be not enough.
It's interesting, too, because it's not quite as necessary on lane 23, and he's doing much better on that lane.
That's a good observation. He is doing much better there. 24, again, though, has been the lane that's given most of the players the most trouble throughout the week.
And it just seems like things go one player's way or not, and right now nothing going Larry-Laub's way.
Well, a lot of things going Don Helling's way, and the tournament leader needs a few breaks, because I've always felt that the tournament leader is at a slight disadvantage coming over with and bowling the winner of the previous match. Obviously that player acclimated to the lane surface and comfortable bowling on the cameras. I feel it's like a 20-pin disadvantage for the tournament leader, and now Don Helling completely ignoring that, going out very aggressively and taking a huge lead at this point in the match.
The tournament leaders on the senior tour, 6 and 5 coming into this event. So if he wins here, they wind up 7 and 5.
Well, that's pretty good, I think. I remember years on the regular tour where they might win 3 out of maybe 20 events.
Helling yet to get tapped in this match.
Well, he's not hitting it good enough to get tapped, Mike. Most of his shots have been those light hits or a little high where he tripped the 610. But that means he's just rolling the ball well. When you're striking like this, you've got a good entry angle. The ball is rolling well when it gets into the pin deck area, keeping the pins low and making them mix it up. And that's what's working well for Don Helling right now. This a key shot. If he can strike here, this match, in theory, is over.
In fact, if he could just spare.
Well, he'd sure like to strike. And he did. A little bit of a showboat there. I've never seen him do that before. That was kind of good.
You know, amazing. He's not using the ball he used all week long either.
No, he's not. And, you know, I talked to him about that earlier, and he said, well, I get a little more money for using this one. And I said, well, do you think you can win with that one? He says, well, I'm not sure, but we're going to find out. He wasn't real confident with that ball, but it worked well for him.
Larry-Laub just a struggle the whole game on lane 24. Couldn't couldn't get the right combination.
They're going to call Don Helling Mr. Hit and Run. You know, he didn't bowl last week in Naples. He bowls here and wins. And then he's not bowling next week in West Palm. So he's taking the money and going home.
Well, it's not a bad way to do it. I mean,
that's right. Back to St. Charles and stock up the pro shop, sell some more balls. And
yeah, the fall season going for our leagues. And I'm sure they are in St. Charles also. Larry can finish it out here for 206 if he can get 3 strikes. Well, it just wasn't meant to be tonight for Larry-Laub. He had it for 1 game, 7 in a row open, and then after that, he never got another double.
That's right, and it's remarkable because, like I said, it's such an unusual style for Larry-Laub to throw the ball this far out in front of him and rotate it so much on the side. There's his normal release right there. You didn't even hear that one hit the lane.
Yeah. Well, you know, when Larry was in his heyday on the national tour, in fact, people talked about that he'd let it go behind the foul line.
That's right.
I mean, and rolled it for 60 feet when he was making television show after television show. A U.S. Open champion, 12 PBA titles, 12 regional titles, been an outstanding bowler in America and really the world for the last 30 years. But this just wasn't his night in the championship game. 193 with only 2 strikes. Well, that tells it all. You know, when he won that title in New Orleans, I know.
Yeah, he beat Jay Robinson for the championship.
Right, but
I
he
remember
beat some
that.
guy, some left-hander before that, a Hall of Fame left-hander.
Dave Davis?
No, it wasn't Dave Davis. Somebody won more titles than Dave Davis. Twice as many, over twice as many.
Never heard of him.
Well, we'll see if he can make the 7-pin. You said he was having so much trouble. It doesn't matter. Don Helling, big smile, slaps Larry-Laub's hand. And now he's talking about the 7-pin. He doesn't want to shoot it.
No, he doesn't want to shoot it. Matter of fact, he doesn't even have to.
He says, Larry, you shoot it for me.
Well, the odds are about 50-50 on this shot because, and I'm serious, he's really struggled with it. He's moving way over there.
He's become a showboat here.
He might throw the backup ball at it. Oh,
he's running it out. Oh! Well, his family approves.
Well, it was worth the trip. The big flight in from St. Charles, St. Louis to come here to Seminole Lanes in the St. Petersburg area of Florida, Seminole, Florida, to watch Don Helling.
And with a strike, he's going to finish with 245.
And he's going to be a very happy senior citizen.
And he finishes it off in style. Standing ovation here.